Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Hey, I thought I'd share with you a little workout that I've been doing lately that I really like, and it involves my friend the Cannonball. I was at this kind of a junk store. It's an old throwback store that, I don't know, when these two old geezers who run this place pass on, I doubt if it'll be continued. They'll probably just knock the building down. There's so much crazy stuff in there. Anyway, I was walking through one day and I see these cannonballs and I thought, oh wow, these are great. You know, I was reminded of some of the old stories I've heard of, you know, Chinese Bagua masters holding cannonballs while they do their forms and stuff. And so I bought them and I kept one and I gave one each to a couple of Tai Chi friends to see what they could come up with. And I got them home and I measured or weighed my cannonball and it turned out to be about 20 pounds. So it's, you know, it's not as heavy as a ball can get, but it's certainly not light either. And I have to say, I'm just sharing what I'm working with here. You know, you might be inspired to try something similar, but do be careful. I mean, it is a weight, and lifting weights should not be done if you have any concerns or worries about your health or your ability to do that, or you know, I don't want you to hurt yourself, so use at your own risk. I'm not saying run out and grab a cannonball and start hurling it around. So one of the exercises that I like best in Tai Chi, and I'm kind of wearing slightly tight pants so you can actually see this, is what we call the bounce. And basically I'm going to face the camera directly. I'm in a back stance, so my weight is 100% on my back leg, front foot is empty, but I do keep this space open. I'm not letting this space close or contract. I'm opening it like that. And this knee tracks right over the middle of the foot, not heading towards the big toe or the little toe. I hope you can see that. My back foot's out at about a 60-degree angle from my front foot. I don't know if that's exact correct geometry. Let's say it's 10 o'clock. This is about 12 o'clock. That's about 10. I want to be able to feel square to the direction my front foot is pointing, so my torso is at a 90 degrees from my front foot. My back foot is turned out slightly, not 90, but I think around 60. And what I do is I sink into this leg with a little bit of resistance in the leg, so that I feel isometric pressure in that left leg. I'm not just bending it. I'm sinking with resistance, which is how you basically coil power in your legs, right? You surrender to gravity but resist it at the same time. The leg compresses and gets strong. So what I'm doing is I'm compressing that leg, sitting into it, and then I'm bouncing gently into that, like pushing on a yoga ball or pushing on a shock absorber or a spring or a pogo stick, right? So I'm taking pressure into that leg. It's incredibly great alignment and strength work for your leg. It seems so simple, but try 500 of them sometime, or 300, or even 100 if you're not used to it. Man, you will really feel it. And you should feel it right here in the thigh, not creeping down towards the knee. You don't want your knee heading out over your toes. You want it in this safety range right here. It's good for short power and for short absorbing of outside pressure. And it's fantastic for balance. So once you, we'll do it on the other side, you have 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock here. You have to find your exact angle. It's not exactly 2, but it's definitely not 3, it's definitely not 1. So it's somewhere in there. And again, sinking with pressure, isometric pressure, and then gently bouncing into that. It's a small bounce. It's compression and release. It's not physical movement like this. It's pressure. So once you get used to this, landing on that spring is great. It's really good for balance because it gives you this little short spring when you get there. You have the ability to adjust and to make balance corrections. So that's an exercise that I do a lot of. I try to get in 500 a day, usually sets of 100. So what I do with the cannonball is 20 pounds, so it's not nothing. I hold it like this against my chest up here, and then I do my back stance, and then I do my bounces holding the cannonball. So I usually do sets of 100. If I want to challenge myself a little more, I pick up that front foot and do the balance on one leg like that. But that, you really have to have good alignment for this. If you start feeling trouble in your knees, if you start feeling pain in the knees, look out, because it's not good to add more weight to bad alignment, right? I'll do it from the side. So you see my knee? It's over my toe, like that. My right knee is much less stable than my left. I sprained it really badly when I was a young guy, and it's never really fully recovered, as bad sprains are often that way. So if you have a weak ankle, you know, keep your front foot on the ground for balance and try to line that up. Picking it up off the ground is more of a challenge. So I'll do a set of 100 on each side, and then I'll sometimes do these guys where I'm taking it down to up. It's not exactly a curl, but it's, I don't know, I like the way that feels. I'm still holding it this way, like that, and I'll do, I don't know, 10 or 20 of those. Slow and smooth, with attention to flow and connection. I'm not just jacking these for numbers, I'm smoothly going through that. Sometimes I'll draw a circle in front of me, like that. So I'm taking it forward and around, like that. And you can connect that with breathing. You can inhale on the way out and exhale in here, or you can exhale out there and inhale in here. You can feel it out for yourself. I'll draw circles like that. Sometimes I'll tip it side to side like this. And then, carefully, I'll place it on my belly here, and I'll grab it with interlaced fingers. Now it's down at the dantian, or the lower center of gravity here, and I'll do the same thing. I'll do a set of 100 here. And the pace, by the way, on this is about 2 a second. You don't want to just jiggle it like this. It's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, about like that. I find that faster doesn't go deep enough, and slower you lose the springy action. If you do, you can do it slow, I mean, see what that feels like, but it's more, it doesn't give you the spring, it doesn't give you the bounce, like the down up, you know, the springiness. So I'll do a set of 100 each of these, like that, right? Getting that leg work, and also I'll do those, you know, totally on one leg sometimes if I'm feeling like increasing the challenge. More work for the stabilizers, more work for your thighs, because there's even, you know, the weight of your leg also goes into, the weight of your front leg also goes into your back leg, doing it that way. And also from the Chen style work, sometimes I'll do the dantian circles like this. So as far as the cannonball goes, I'm rolling it around my belly, lower belly, like that, just a little bit. That's not the main motion. The main motion is in the legs and waist. And I see people doing this, and sometimes they're doing this. Watch my knees. You see how they're twisting? And that's not good, especially over time. A simple way to remember how to do this without twisting your knees is to hold it in the middle, turn to the right, my right, your left. So I'll say it as though it's your directions. Turn to the left, and when I say turn, I don't mean turn the hips. When I turn my hips, my knees move. I mean turn my waist, which is higher up. So one little clue that's really nice to think of, when you think of turning your waist, think of turning your ribs, because that's largely what your waist moves. So from here, I'm turning to the right, then I'm sinking, then I'm turning to the left, then I'm rising. Left, sink, right, rise. So it's kind of a square. And then you just round off those corners. So look, I can get a nice circle in here without twisting my knees, or at least not twisting them much. If they move a tiny bit, there is a safe rotatory capacity that the knee has, but it's not much. And you're okay in that tiny little wiggle room. But the idea is that you don't want to twist them at all. So the legs are pistons, and they're just powering up and down, but the waist is adding the turn. So you're rolling it around the center. And you can go the other way, like that. There. So again, don't turn your hips, because that'll change the shape down here. You want to largely stay the same. The shape is the same. See that? It's inner thighs are rounded. Your legs are providing the power. Your feet, of course, are the root. Your waist is directing that power. And in this case, the hands are passively going along for the ride. But of course I'm holding the cannonball, so they're not that passive, right? So those are some things you can do with the cannonball. And then another thing I like to do is take it over to here. This one has a little bit of a seam on it, like a fat inch seam that goes around, almost like a croquet ball. So I kind of like to get that lined up so that I'm on one side of that seam. It's like the equator here. And I'll just hold it on my shoulder and shift my weight back and forth like this. Just feel that extra weight from the cannonball that I have to stabilize through my body. And then I'll do some straight up lifts like that, trying to keep my body underneath it. And I'm not trying to isolate this just in my arm like this. It's because to me it's a Tai Chi exercise. I want to feel this go down into my legs. I want to let my legs help me up a little bit, and then I extend. And then come down and settle. I don't know if you can see the ball at the top. I'll find out when I look at this. But another thing you can do is just hold it up there. Keep a little energy in your other hand, so it's not just flop here. It's got a little bit of ward-off energy in the other hand. And I'm just holding it up like that and just feeling the isometric through my body. Sometimes I'll wiggle and move a little bit, or sometimes not. Or I'll just do, like 10 or 20 of these. And then I switch it, consciously. I'm not doing this stuff quick or fast. I'm kind of prone to tendinitis and soft tissue injury. I've got to be careful. So do it carefully and slowly, which is how you should do it anyway. But I have biofeedback that makes it even more important for me to do it that way because of my tendency to injure myself that way. So I lift that way, trying to do it straight up with my body helping. I'm deliberately not isolating. I'm using my legs to help up and down like that. And then sometimes just holding it isometrically, just holding that weight there either still or with a little bit of motion, back down, set it here, and then set it down. So that's my Tai Chi Cannonball workout. I do like to do Tai Chi forms with hand weights sometimes if my joints are feeling good and I'm not feeling any soreness or any little tendon flare-ups. I like to use 2-pound hand weights, just to help correct my posture, because you feel that extra weight, and anywhere that you're not in alignment, it doesn't feel good. I also do some bagua with 4-pound weighted balls, so you can do that, and I might do another video on that. I've done some videos where I just show myself walking around doing circle walking and palm changes with the weights. Sometimes I just use hand weights and hold them in my hands and work punches and strikes just to add a little extra resistance, not like throwing it out there hard with weights. It's not great for my joints. The cannonball, though, I really like. It's stable, 20 pounds, it's a nice weight. I'm 58, so I don't want to, and as I said about my joints, I don't want to overload it by taking on a 40-pound cannonball or something really, really significantly big. I like the 20. I definitely feel it. It's not nothing, and it gives me a little extra, a little extra work for strength, but it also, the information I get from that solidity of that weight, like, the iron doesn't lie. You can't trick it. You can't do woo-woo fudge in on it. It's 20 pounds of iron. So you hold it there, and it's an unyielding pressure that you can use to bring a little extra work to different parts of the body. So I hope you like this, and maybe you'll try something like it yourself. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to my video channel here on YouTube. I do lots of music videos, Tai Chi videos, nature videos, and all kinds of different stuff like that. Thanks for watching.